Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Featured Voice. This is week 3, and I hope that you all are enjoying the episodes as I've been able to share with you narrators that either you may have not heard of or you have and you just haven't gotten to their books yet. But I'm hoping that this particular show or series will encourage you to go and check out their audiobooks because they do deserve to be heard. They're awesome actors and actresses and performers. And actually this week we have our first female featured voice. So I am so happy to have with us this week, Meghan Kelly. Hi, Meghan. Welcome to the featured voice. How are you?
Hi, Jacques. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, okay. So I am a person about transparency, if I can speak. Today is Tuesday, and Meghan and I have recorded this this podcast already. So, because I am not technologically sound, we had a little bit of an issue. But like I told Meghan, second time's a charm. That's where we're going with, not third time, right? We just remade that entire phrase.
Round two.
But you know what? Sometimes they said the second time is better. So yeah, let's go. Let's go with that. Well, again, thank you so much for speaking with me again. This week, I'm excited to have you on the show and kind of chat with you a little bit about your background and, you know, what's coming down the pike for you. But first, happy audiobook release day. I know that Timeless Whisper released, I believe it was on yesterday. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yep, it released yesterday, and we're giving out some free promos on both Sandra's Facebook page and as well as my own.
So everybody, let me tell you, I listened to a little bit of the clip, and we'll play that for you guys a little later in the show. And I am really excited about it just because of the genre and the type of story that's going on. So why don't you give us a little bit of background about that particular audiobook?
Timeless Whisper is the first in the series of, I think it's Timeless Hearts.
Yes.
And it is a historical romance with time travel, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite genre has always been historical romance, but you throw in a little time travel as well, and I'm in love. It reminds me a lot of like the whole Outlander series, which I read 10, 15 years ago and loved. So I jump at the chance at these kind of books. It's a love story, but I don't want to give too much away. You'll have to listen to it.
That's it. That's our teaser, is that we have to listen to it. And I like that there's that little bit, like you said, of time travel. And I've only listened to one other historical romance audiobook. So this is new to me, is combining both of those together. And just from the sample that I heard, it sounds really interesting. And you've got kind of this southern accent going on with the guy in there. And again, you guys will hear it a little bit later. But first, let's learn a little bit more about Meghan. And Meghan, so we don't get trains today. You get the airplane. Do you hear that?
Oh, I do.
So you get a little bit of a little different atmosphere today. Oh no, it's a helicopter. Like, and you know, I have the best luck with podcasts because I like to sit outside and enjoy the weather, but then you have traffic or airplanes and helicopters, and so I'm glad that you can enjoy that with me.
It's all good. I just looked it up too, and it's Timeless Whisper, which is the Timeless Hearts series, book 1.
Okay.
And I know there's like 10 or 11 with different authors and narrators narrating that. So
it's sort of like an anthology box set, maybe. Well, anthologies are different, right?
It could be made into one down the line, possibly, but I don't know.
Okay. And the good thing is that you got to narrate Sandra's first book. So how exciting was that?
Yes, it's her first audiobook she's ever done. She's been just a joy to work with. She's so excited and just really very flattering to me and my abilities. And I like being able to help her out. I've been doing this for a little while. I have over 100 books under my belt, audiobooks under my belt at this point. And for her first one, she was just in awe of the whole experience. So it's been a really great working relationship. I have 2 other books that I've scheduled with her that I think we're doing down the line in a little bit.
Okay, well, we will definitely make sure that we keep an eye out on that. And you know what's exciting is that you've been narrating audiobooks for 4 years now, and you're already over the 100, I believe when I did my research, over the 120 mark, which is fantastic because I know that there are people who've been in the industry a little bit longer, and they are, and you're not that far behind them. So what's kind of been the secret to your success for being able to make it that far up in the ranks with your audio category library?
Well, I got started really not knowing too much about it. So I did a lot of shorter books that are 30 minutes or so, which I don't really technically believe are audiobooks because they're just short stories, but that's what makes my number go up. I've done about 75 full-length books that are, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours plus. Mm-hmm. Anything under an hour, that's more of what I refer to as a title as opposed to an audiobook. But I'm plugging along. I'll definitely keep at this because I enjoy the work so much.
Yeah, keep plugging along into us listeners. I'm sure you're a listener yourself. To us, anything that we don't have to physically look at and read, and I can plug into it and hear it, it's an audiobook. It can be 10 minutes. I don't care. And to me, it's an audiobook. So again, congratulations for that. And we look forward to more books that you decide to put your lovely voice to.
Well, I'm constantly working. I definitely work on at least 3 to 5 books at a time. I know most people probably only work on 1 book at a time, but I like to mix it up to keep my energy level up on every book. So I'll do a couple chapters from each book. 2 of them I work with editors, and the 3rd one I edit and do the production myself. And it just keeps it interesting for me. So I do also get some titles coming out pretty quickly in short order from working on just so many at the same time.
Yeah, you are a very, very, very busy lady. So kudos to you. I know that you're going to probably top out. I'm going to say you probably top out close to 200. That's me plugging you along so you can reach 200 by December 31st. Can we make that happen?
I will surely try.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about how you actually got your start on this side of the industry narrating audiobooks. So what's your background?
I was that girl in high school who was the singer and the actor and was in all the plays, and I took that and went to college and thought I'd pursue music, but it really wasn't. I didn't do as well in college as I thought I would. So I got disheartened and switched over to a communications major with a theater minor. Then after college, I didn't know what to do with myself. Met a guy who happened to live in New York City, and I moved to New York City to get a job in the industry. I walked into a casting office and got myself an internship, and then I became a talent agent's assistant. Did that for a couple of years, then moved back home to Detroit, where I did it for 6 years as a franchise talent agent. And I would run these auditions for voiceover jobs, and I'd give ideas to my talent as they came in. And sometimes your client is sitting right next to you. And I had enough clients over the years say something about perhaps I should audition for stuff. It was a conflict of interest at the time, but it stuck in the back of my head. And I've been a voracious reader since I was a little kid. So audiobooks were always in the back of my mind too. But I gave myself a year in voiceover work to see if I could make it happen. And 10 years later, I'm still doing voiceover work in audiobooks. I fell into audiobooks just by searching for them and how to do them. On a couple pay-for-play sites, I picked up my first couple audiobooks, but it was a mistake. I didn't really know what I was doing at that point, and I got screwed over in royalties and payments So until I found ACX about 4 years ago, that's when my real audiobook career started. And I just started auditioning, and I have not stopped working since I started.
So that's technically when we should say your audio book birthday was.
Yes. 2013 is when I started.
Oh, 2013 was a good year. I was going to say that's when I started audiobooks, but no, I was a little bit later, actually 2015. So I'm still 2016. I'm still a newbie at it. So are there any...
Well, they've certainly blown up in the last couple years. Audiobooks are huge now.
Do you think that audiobooks are a little bit more popular than ebooks?
I think so. I mean, I think ebooks are equally as popular, but the audiobook industry has just exploded in the last year and a half, it seems. A lot more books are in production, a lot more available titles are out there. I mean, it's taken off.
Yeah, I had mentioned that I thought that at some point ebooks may become obsolete. I don't know if that will ever happen, but you never know. CDs did, and everybody moved to MP3 players just because it was easier to take them around. And, as we move into the age of technology, it just seems like that would be the next step but then I guess there are always people who want a physical book. I don't know.
I still love having a physical book. I just don't have much time for it anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the age that people go in. We are so busy with just things that it's so much easier to just, download the audiobook and drive and work out and do whatever, and we can still get the same entertainment out of it. And it keeps your eyes from burning. you ever try to read a book late at night with a Kindle or something, and
sure, and your eyes are watering because you're too tired, but you don't want to stop because you're just so into the story.
Yes, but see, with an audiobook, you just have, your headset, you're real comfy, you can close your eyes, life is good. So, yeah, that makes well, a winner, audiobooks win. Are there any aspects of your previous career, I guess, in talent and casting that you miss, or do you think that that's something that still assist you with being able to land the work or pick up the work that you have now?
I miss, the only thing I really miss about my previous career is just the interacting with a myriad of actors. I mean, I loved the audition process. It was fun for me. I loved being able to put people at ease and get their best performance out of them. And I really miss working with the talent, but there was so much more to that job than just running auditions. In Michigan, it used to be that the services of a talent agent and the services of a casting director were one job, whereas in most of the bigger hubs, it's two separate jobs because you're not only auditioning and scouting talent, and you're also negotiating contracts and just making sure people get paid. And it's just so many different hats in the air all the time. It was exhausting. So being a talent myself, because now I am now booked through agents and whatnot, it's much easier on this side, and I can focus on the performance. And I mean, I am an actor at heart. I always have been, and I could always relate to my talent. And I do think my experience on that side of the business completely helped me with understanding how to go about, hustling for work and getting paid for work. I learned the business side of the business before I learned how to be a talent. So it kind of helped me out. I just didn't know if I would be seen as somebody who had talent. I still question my abilities, but 100 plus titles in, I'm still working constantly. I figure not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's difficult for us to kind of just welcome that we do a pretty good job. So if you want, I can virtually pat you on the back. If you just imagine that I'm patting you on the back, because I think it takes a lot of work to be in any industry again that deals with the arts. So whether it's music or acting, or again, this is a form of acting, it's really difficult. And you're still doing this, and people are listening to you, and they want you for their work. So, as long as that continues, then you know that you're doing something right. So kudos to you for making this happen and working in an area where you have a passion.
Well, thank you, Rock and Jacques.
Yes, we so need to hashtag that.
Rock and Jacques.
I love it. It makes me feel like a roller coaster or something. But
you're a rock star. I mean, I've appreciated everything you've done for our community so far, and I know you're going to do even more. You've got a ton of people supporting you.
Well, thank you so much, and you're a great support as well, and I can't wait to get up to Michigan and meet you and hang out with you and have some adult bevies, and yeah, we'll have some adult bevies, and maybe we'll do like a live conversation and see what books you have coming out then in August. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's talk a little bit about your singing career. So I alluded to this in our first podcast that nobody will ever hear but us, that you are, wait, first let me back up. So every time I looked at your Twitter handle before you changed it, I wanted to call you Mustang Sally. And I don't know why Must Sing just looked like Mustang Sally. But
you're not the first. Okay, it's been confusing for people for years. But I focused a lot when I left the agency on music as well as voiceover work, because music was bringing in, some decent pay for me. I played out in bands and then my acoustic duo almost every weekend for 15 years. And that was just, after college, not thinking I was that great of a singer, I stopped singing for 12 years. And then I was hassled by friends because I'd sing in the car or I'd do karaoke. So I made a New Year's resolution to audition for one band one time. I was totally frightened. I had my best friend sitting in front of me, supporting me so I could get through these 5 songs that they wanted. And lo and behold, they hired me. And I worked with that band for about a year and a half, and then another one for about a year and a half, and then another one for about a year. And then that turned into my acoustic duo, and we've been playing for 10 years. We've just recently taken a little break because I'm a little burnt out on the singing thing, and I've been putting all my energies into working on audiobooks for the time being.
Well,
which I finally made time to make a Facebook narrator page, which I'd been putting off for years.
And I'm so glad that you did that, because people need to follow their favorite narrators or narrators that like through shows like this and things, and we mention or they happen to run across a book and they want to follow. And I think it's really important that you guys are able to interact with fans or people who may be looking for someone with a voice like yours for their book. So I agree. And if you didn't have it, marketing is everything. So, and social media is probably the second largest way to market, and the first would be word of mouth. So those two
for
together,
sure. I've been really trying to learn more of the social media because it's confusing to some of us who are not as technology savvy. But I'm trying.
You're doing a good job. I mean, once I got you on Twitter and we worked out some things there, I think
this is true. You're still teaching me.
You know what's so funny, Megan? I have had a Twitter account probably, gosh, how old am I? Yep, maybe 10 years or more. I have 6 Twitter accounts, and I never really used them much until last year. And but it's really a quick way just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, or hey, check out this book. And as you've been using it, you and I have had some conversations, and I can tag you and say, hey, Megan's new book just came out, and people will retweet it. And so it's a really good way and fun to get people to see what you're doing. So
I'm really trying to make sure that I get over there too. I do use my Facebook stuff more just because I'm I know how to work
Maneuver?
it better, but maneuver, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still working to try to learn Twitter and get my stuff out there a bit more. Certainly, it can't hurt more exposure. I'm all about it. So
yeah, it's not, you're not the only one. Trust me. I spoke to a lot of people who said, I just don't get Twitter. And it's fine. I don't get Snapchat. That's something I don't get. I don't want to take pictures with filters where I look like a bunny or anything like that. So I totally get it. But I got your back. So I'm going to help you. We're in this Twitter thing together. I promise.
I appreciate it. And I will continue to learn, because I do know it's a great way to promote the books. And I love being able to promote my books as well as strengthen that relationship with the authors, because when they see that you're promoting and really trying to help, I mean, they want to work with you again. So, I mean, you have to do a good job on the audiobook, obviously, but the more you can help to get the audiobook's name out there, the better. Yeah,
definitely. And so let's talk a little bit about what comes next, because that's how I met you, through Desney Dantone's contemporary romance. And funny, actually, how I really met you was, one, through that audiobook, and two, I was doing some research on ACX and I found you. And then I found you in a Facebook group, and then I found you in another group. So basically I didn't stalk you per se. I just kind of bumped into you. Yeah, let's go with that. I bumped into you through a couple different books. So how was your experience working on that particular book, since it was a little bit different than some of your others?
Sure. Desney's book, What Comes Next, is actually in my top 3 favorite audiobooks I ever did. She's just a phenomenal writer, and I love the story. It's a little bit of a throwback. It's set in the 70s, and it's just a beautiful story. And I told her, I milked that book, reading that book for prep. I think I took 2 weeks when I normally tell myself only a week. Oh, there's my train.
There's the train.
It's just she's just a phenomenal writer. I loved the way her brain worked. So I think I just auditioned and connected with her, and she seemed to like my voice, but I'm pretty sure she ran that audition by you for your opinion, and you supported her picking me as well, because I do remember giving me your name.
See, my name floats around, and I'm glad that it's usually in good context and not
Absolutely.
Not anything negative. But yeah, I had a chance to listen to it, and I'll tell you, one of the things that she really loved is because of the Southern accent, and she wanted somebody who was able to do that. And it sounded natural and not, something forced. And you did a really good job with that. And she, and we talk about this a lot, and she loves that book. And I'm actually still promoting that book, because she writes in various genres, but she does so well with all of them. So she's not just, I just write YA or I just write PNR.
Right.
And so I think that as she branches more into books like that may be more adult contemporary or NA, that she'll be remembering what a great job that you did with that book. So good job.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. And see
I am pretty comfortable. Southern accent. Thank you. Southern accents are pretty comfortable for me. And I'm not from the South, never have been, but it's just a comfortable accent for me. I struggle, I'm sure, with the same ones everybody does, the Irish, the Scottish. I can do a decent English accent, but I still shy away from doing books that are in first person POV in like a British accent. I can do a character or two and feel okay about that, but just, the whole book, I've heard some ladies that can just do a phenomenal job at it. And before I would commit to something like that, I'd have to get some coaching. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with it. Yeah. Some people seem to be able to do any accent that's out there, but I kind of stick with the ones I'm comfortable with, which is United States accents, whether it be Southern, New York, Midwest. That's what I'm comfortable with.
But I like that you mentioned that, because you know what your comfort level is, and you want to make sure that you are providing the best talent and performance you can to a book, outside of, overstating, well, yeah, sure, I can do that, beating of the chest, and then you're like, okay, let me get on YouTube and do a lot of mass research. But I like that you said that, which doesn't mean that at some point you may go ahead and get that coaching, because maybe somewhere down the line I might write a book and I want you to do first person POV, and this person is from Romania or something. See, I would pick something hard like that and say, I need you to have a Romanian accent for 8 hours. So chop, chop.
And I'd be happy to do it. It's just one of those things in finding the time and the funds to be able to be able to get the coaching. And it's like, but then it takes away from the books that you're already committed to. It's, you got a lot of balls in the air trying to, I try to book out at least 2-3 months ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And then, I have several books that are series books that I'm working with several authors, but they don't want, one after the other. They want to be able to build up some excitement for that next book to come out. Right. So scheduling is always major importance. But you always I'm addicted to audiobooks and books in general. So it's like I see a book that I just want to read. And sometimes, I'll find time to do it on my own, where I'm not having to pay for an editor to do the production. Just I'll do it because I want to do the book. I want to read the book. I like the story. But I also have to make a living at this. Right. So I have to make sure that some money is coming in from somewhere.
Right. So you mentioned that you love audiobooks. I know outside of your job. So what kind of books do you listen to just at leisure?
At leisure, I'm so corny, but I like my historical romances.
You're not corny at all.
I am. It's the Diana Gabaldon. I'm sure. She's the epitome of those books for me. Mm-hmm. But I listen to, honestly, the English, British books that I couldn't do myself. I'm currently listening to Lisa Kleypas. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I've got a 3-book series that I'm listening to by her, just because something about the time period just appeals to me. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, for myself, I love hot romances that are current and with leading ladies that have a lot of spirit and spunk. I both like reading them and I like performing them. It's just fun because I see a little bit of sass in myself. So, just a little? Being able, just a little, I like to throw that in there. So you'll see a myriad of styles that I like to work on personally for audiobooks. I'll try, as long as it's something I feel comfortable with, I'll try all kinds of genres. I've done a ton of shifter books and vampire books, and again, because I like them, and a lot of romance.
Well, that's good.
It's just fun for me.
So are there any genres that you have not done that you would like to do?
I've only done probably a handful of mysteries and thrillers. And I would like to do more of those. It just doesn't seem there's a lot available for ladies. I know the guys get those books quite a bit. And also in the very beginning, I did a couple of biographies, and I love biographies too. I'm that chick that watches all the biography television shows.
Like history, of course.
Yeah. And ironically, my dad was a history teacher for 30 plus years, so maybe it's just in my genes.
It is in your genes. Totally. It has to be, because who sits around? Okay, I won't say that. There's a lot of people that are historians. They love, good thing, to find out what happened in such and such time period. But honestly, no, I can't. It's
not for you. I'm intrigued by it.
Well, I think that if I can get in tune with the story, it can be for me. And, so of course everybody likes, Pride and Prejudice and, those type of things. I like Tale of Two Cities, which I don't know if that's weird or not, but I like Tale of Two Cities and things like that. But of course, I don't know who's narrating those books, and I don't know. Anyway, back to your mystery and thriller. I know that there are a couple authors who write those type of books, and they're cozy mysteries. So have you ever read any cozy mysteries? I guess
I have. I've done a few short cozy mysteries. Usually they're right around an hour long. But I haven't been lucky enough to book a full length cozy mystery. I've auditioned for several, but it's every author or rights holder's individual choice as to who they like for and who they hear in their head for a book.
Right. But that's okay, because this podcast, is going to circulate, and I know a couple people that write in that genre, and I don't think that their books are on audio yet. So that's what the featured voice is to make those plugs and share it with people who can actually possibly get that book under your library, so that I can listen to it, and maybe it'll be a historical cozy mystery.
It doesn't have to be.
No, for me, so I can kind of kill two birds at one stone.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've never listened to a cozy mystery, and the closest I think is like Agatha Christie on TV, or Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, Murder, She Wrote. That's throwback.
It is, right? See, I just dated myself. So now I'm
But I knew what you were talking about, so I dated myself too.
We both just dated ourselves. That's okay. We're like fine wine. We just get better with age.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's take a listen to the clip, because I know we kind of talked a little bit about accents, and I always like to end there on accents, because it's one of my favorite things about audiobooks is that in my head, the author will write that this person has an accent or they sound like such and such, but I can't always make that happen in my head. In my head, they just sound normal. So this is one of the things I love about audiobooks, is that you guys perform the character and then actually gives them a voice. So I'm excited about that. So everybody, let's take a listen to a sample of Timeless Whisper. And the book is by Sandra E. Sinclair, and it is performed by the lovely Meghan Kelly. So let's take a listen.
However, this man clearly hated her almost as much as she hated him. It was written in every line of his face, which seemed odd. What had she ever done to him? If anyone should feel aggrieved, it was her. Hey, what's your problem? You have no reason to be mad at me. I was the one who got thrown out with the trash.
Shock.
Judging from what you're wearing, it would be an obvious assumption to think you're insane. I should be thanking my lucky stars you did run out on me. But then there's another part of me, the part that knows you're nothing more than a scheming manipulator of the truth, and this is all an elaborate ploy to gain my sympathy. Well, it won't work. You'll pay heavily for what you did to me, so you can stop pretending. What did I ever do to you? You were the one who wanted to see other people. I'm not playing your idiotic mind games. I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't understand you, and quite frankly, I don't care enough about you to try. I'm tired of you trying to take me for a fool. Go on, get in there. Lance pushed her forward. She tripped and fell to the ground. He hissed, pulling her up by the rope, and slung her over his shoulder. Is there no end to your shenanigans? He marched inside and dumped her unceremoniously onto one of the benches at the back of the building, attracting the attention of everyone in the room.
And so there we have a little bit of a sample from Timeless Whisper. And Meghan, do you want to tell? Okay, so in the beginning, you told us a little bit about the story, and it is time travel, and you guys hear this conversation going on between Lance, and I don't know if he even mentioned the female's name, but you got a little bit of an accent going there with Lance. So how did you kind of prepare for his tone and his character? Where did that come from?
I like to ask the authors a little bit about the characters. I ask them to tell me their age, their ethnicity, if they have an accent, and any characteristics or mannerisms that I should know about them. Maybe something that's not on the page that they can share with me about what they have in their head. And it makes it a little bit easier for me to come up with the character. And I remember Sandra said he was a very strong Southern man who had a bit of anger in him. So he always has a bit of a tone. And I just ran with it from there. I mean, it's kind of easy. Once you get that description of specifically what an author hears, then you just keep that in the back of your mind when you're reading the lines, and it comes out.
And he did kind of have a tone. And in my head, I can picture him like making a face at her, like, really, chick. I mean, in my head, that's what I would think that he would be saying. So when you actually are doing your accents and things like that, specifically maybe for this one, are there certain things that you kind of do with your face, or is it, some kind of, I don't know, if you dig deep down and you turn your mouth a certain way to get that, or what's
I'm sure I do. We talked in the first podcast about having a mirror in the booth, but I think I'd probably find it distracting and would be embarrassed by it. But I know I contort my face with certain things that I'm doing in the booth, but it's not something that you're really dwelling on. You're just in the moment, and I'm honestly going from character to character, and it's like a one-person play that you get to do, and it's a lot of fun, but it never comes out perfectly the first time. All the entire audiobook, there's always mistakes, no matter how great of a narrator you are. Mm-hmm. So I read the story first, I make my notes, I touch base with the author, then I do my first 15 to make sure we're on the same page, and then I just run with it from there.
And I'm still sending you a mirror. Did you see on Twitter? I tweeted you a GIF.
I did see that.
And the guy was making faces, and I'm totally sending you. I'm going to bring it to you in August, and I want it to sit in your studio. You don't have to look at it while you're performing or anything, but after you finish the book, you should just kind of look in there and take a picture and tweet it and say, this face is for you, Jock. I was thinking about you and I made this face. Make it a nice face, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I know that you are on a busy schedule and you've got to get back in the booth and complete some projects. So thank you for taking this time to re-record this podcast for me, with me. And I enjoyed speaking with you the second time just as much as the first time. And what I would like to do is for you to tell everybody how they can find you on your Facebook and Twitter.
My Facebook page is Meghan, Meghan Kelly, Kelly, narrator. My Twitter, I just switched, so it is now Meghan, Meghan Kelly, Kelly, VO for voiceover. Or you can always go to my website, which is meghankelly.org.
Awesome. So everyone, make sure that you have that information and you go and follow Meghan, like her, all the good things. And you can also visit and view her library on audible.com and type in her name, Meghan Kelly, Kelly, and see what awesome books she has out there. And again, Timeless Whisper released on Monday, so it is available if you are interested in historical romance with a little bit of a twist and time travel. I will be taking a listen to it this week, so hopefully you'll join me, and be sure you leave a review. Reviews are fantastic for the author and the narrator alike.
And we appreciate it so much.
Yes, reviews. Don't forget to review.
And check out my Facebook page, because I am giving out a few free copies if you're interested in picking up Timeless Whisper.
Yes, go and see. This is why we're celebrating Audiobook Month, and I love audiobooks. Go and check out her page on Facebook and see if you can win you a code. It's a win-win. See?
Yep.
It's
and I
free.
just looked and I said it wrong again. It's Meghan Kelly audiobook narrator. That's my Facebook page, so come check me out.
Just look for the cute little cartoon character. She's got headphones on and blonde hair, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what she looks at. It's the only Meghan Kelly narrator on Facebook. So that's it.
Right, but don't confuse me with the late night host, or interviewer. That's a different Meghan Kelly.
Okay, so yeah, just again, look for the cartoon character. The blonde hair. All right, so this has been an episode of The Featured Voice. Again, thank you so much to our guest, Meghan Kelly, for joining us here today. Be sure that you are following The Audio Flow on Facebook at The Audio Flow, also on Twitter at _audio_flow, and also on Instagram at The Audio Flow, where you can see all of the giveaways and all of the upcoming chats and events that we have coming up in the next few weeks. Until then, remember, it's love at first sound, and everybody deserves to be heard.